Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Dominique Guillaume, and this is my case study on the Los Angeles, California Accelerated Additional Dwelling Unit Program. So, today on our agenda, I'll be discussing the project background, the housing issues, the design and planning, the development and funding, the community impacts, and my reflection. So the project is located in Los Angeles, California, and one of the main issues that Los Angeles was facing were rising rent costs for many of their older residents. This was causing their older residents to have to choose between prioritizing rent or paying for groceries or prescriptions, and this was overall just affecting their quality of life, and it was also quickly leading them into homelessness. So Los Angeles is the best place for this because over half of Los Angeles land is zoned for single family, and if just 10% of the city's 500,000 single family lots added an additional dwelling unit, Los Angeles could grow their housing supply by half within just a few years, and this is without changing neighborhood character. Most of the single family lots in LA have room to add an additional dwelling unit, meaning that there's a large amount of additional housing capacity already sitting on existing properties. So some of the main takeaways from the previous slide is that there was a 1000% jump in additional dwelling unit permits after California's 2017 law reform, and also that there's 500,000 single family lots in LA, most with room for additional dwelling units, and that the program prioritizes tenants 62 and older. So before, additional dwelling units would sit empty or rent at market rate, and owners would have to cover these costs alone. And now additional dwelling units are catered more towards low-income seniors at 30% of their income, and the owners also get stable rent and support from this program. Okay, so who designed the project? The City of Los Angeles mayors designed the project, and the program engaged experts to identify the specific barriers which were keeping older adults from stable housing. And so they planned it and designed it, and they planned it mostly as like a one-stop shop, I guess I'd say. So the city handles matching, screening, and paperwork, and then the tenant would pay 30% of their income towards rent, and then there would be a 5-year guaranteed affordable tenancy. And so the parties involved would also be delegated a case manager for both parties. Okay, development and funding. So to be established before the City of Los Angeles Mayor Office developed the project, and they were also in partnership with the nonprofit service One Generation. One Generation delivered case management and support services for older adults slash tenants, while they also worked with Bloomingburg Philanthropies, and they provided a $1 million Mayor Challenge grant in 2018 for funding and setup for the program. Okay, now some positive community impact from the program is that the program guaranteed a 5-year affordable tenancy, which gave older adults a lot of housing stability and maybe even more time to be prepared for what's to come afterwards. Homeowners also gained a reliable source of income, and this added affordable rental units without new construction costs or rezoning fights. So this was a quicker and more cost-effective way of doing this because there was already existing land there, and like I said before, it also just didn't change neighborhood character. It also preserved it preserved single family neighborhood character while raising the density of these neighborhoods. So some negative impacts of this project was that it is fully voluntarily, but the scale is capped at 100 homeowners, which is far below what the city actually needs. Um, And then it does also morally take like a toll because it requires homeowners to be comfortable with sharing property with a stranger. So that also has its limits, and that could make someone also not want to participate. And then there's also its lack of inclusivity. It only serves older residents, so this leaves a lot of unhoused populations, because it's only catered towards a specific demographic. Um, and the success depends on continued grant funding after the beginning period ends, so that's also a big issue. And small unit counts, so about only 130 tenants. Okay, so my reflection: was the project successful? In my opinion, yes, I would say that the project was successful. It activated existing housing stock quickly and cheaply compared to new construction, like I said before, and it directly serves a vulnerable population, but its scale is very small compared to Los Angeles and its homelessness crisis. So it's important that it's able to address more than what is being addressed now. And so some lessons for other cities that I could say is that this is definitely a great start, at addressing a singular housing crisis, but it definitely cannot be the only way that they address certain housing crises, because it's not inclusive, and there's a vast amount of other issues that are going on, and those issues also need to be addressed. So this can work. So this is a very good program, but it also needs to work hand in hand with other programs for it to be overall successful, is what I'm saying. So yeah. Would I support this locally? Yeah, I would support it locally. It is politically easier to just launch, and it also creates public comfort with additional dwelling units, because um, as these zoning rights are lifted for additional dwelling units, it gives people more room. So maybe they might, if you think of it in a more niche aspect, maybe they might rent it out to a family member, maybe they might rent it out to someone else, or maybe they might be more open to even renting out to younger people. So this helps a lot, and it gives homeowners with underused space a low risk way to add affordable housing, and also just overall help themselves too. Um, so it's very cost efficient and affordable. But yeah, this is my project, and thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.